Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we now know the event for getting Bayek. And I've got some, unfortunately, unless you're like me and you've pulled him early, I've got some really bad news. Let's dive into it. Here's the announcement. Wait, hang on. Here's the there we go. Here's the announcement. I'm pretty simple and straightforward. On Friday, the 27th of February, 3 events at the same time. 2x Sacred Shards, 10x for Edward Kenway from Sacred Shards, and at the same time, a Champion Chase tournament where you can get Bayek for first place on the leaderboard out of 100 players for Bayek. And you also have to, by the way, you not only do you have to do it, you also have to get the minimum point requirements. It's only 5,000, but still, it is 5,000. I mean, it's quite a lot, actually, in terms of... Let me actually find that out for you. Hang on. Yeah, okay. So basically, this would be... it's about 280 per. So if we grab a calculator, we do 5,000 divide by 280. Now, obviously, you get lucky or unlucky. You're looking at about 18 sacreds for the Bayek. And that's the minimum. So yeah, in other words, this is the worst possible outcome of all outcomes. For the simple reason, look, we could have had Bayek as a guaranteed champion who would have cost, in like a hero's path or something, who would have cost 20 sacreds. I think Leonardo is the most recent example where we had Leonardo and Shredder as part of the TMNT events. This was just at the end of last year. And they did a Leonardo actually being far better than Shredder being the event dungeon boss, but Leo being far better. But they ran him as a guaranteed champion with his soul up for grabs as well on a big hero's path. It was incredibly expensive, but was it worth it? Yeah, absolutely, because Leonardo is an absolute beast. He's insanely good. Bayek is probably not quite as good as Leonardo, but he is an incredibly strong champion as well. He's one of the best non-mythicals in the game, I would say. He's one of the better voids for sure as well. But unfortunately, this time he's not up for grabs. It does raise a question: will they do something for Augustin, who is the other void legendary in this Assassin's Creed event? I kind of figured they might just do nothing, right? Like, we're going into March, which should be new faction. It should be anniversary events, crazy March fusion we are expecting. It should be really hype. So yeah, there's a decent chance they're going to do nothing for Augustin, and like there's just not going to be a guaranteed way to get him. But there you are. This is what we've got for Bayek. So obviously you can get him guaranteed. It is technically guaranteed that you could get him, but it's only the first out of 100 players. So if you have any sort of spender in your tournament, which is extremely likely you're going to get at least one, it is almost impossible to compete. Funny enough as well, Sacred Shards are incredibly expensive to purchase for real money. So typically, if you're looking to do this with money, which is basically, unless you're sitting there with like 100 Sacred, there's a few players that have a ludicrous amount of Sacred Shards stockpiled. I've seen you. Very few, but there are some. But realistically, like, this is about buying your way to Bayek. I mean, buy is in his name, right? But realistically, you're looking for, I don't know, the limited special packs that would give Primal Shards. Primal Shards typically give you the most points in tournaments like this for cash. I don't have like a breakdown for that for you. I don't really care, to be honest. I think it's kind of stupid. I don't know, if you got enough money to buy your way to winning a champ training tournament, I don't know, just hire someone to do the mats for you, right? You're fine. You got this, right? You got this, bro. But yes, so that is my unhelpful contribution to this debate. I mean, in theory, is Bayek worth 18 Sacred Shards? 100%. 100% he is. But it's not just 18 Sacreds. It's 18 Sacreds minimum, and then you have to battle it out with the other 99 people in your tournament bracket. I mean, like, if nobody in your tournament, let me put it like this, if nobody in your tournament goes for it, definitely worth going for. But I guarantee he is absolutely worth it. So I guarantee even if nobody goes for it, you'll definitely, there's a very good chance you'd have other people as well looking at it in the last few hours going, shit, there's only a few hours left on this. No one's really going for it. I'm going for Bayek. I'm going for him. Yeah, I have this champion. I've done a video a couple of days ago going over him. We'll put out a champion infographic on him. I'll share it with you here on YouTube as well. And the next, probably for the weekend as well. We're just updating them slightly, so just need the new template to be done pretty much, and it's ready to go. But he is fantastic. So increased accuracy for the team with perfect veil and increased defense. He gives himself increased accuracy and he gives himself increased defense for an extra turn, which is nice. So he's very good at maintaining increased defense, which does work well with his everything is permitted passive, which does damage based off his defense. He gets an extra turn after this, and then he does an AoE attack that places decreased accuracy, decreased resistance, and provoke. If they've got 3 debuffs, he does 2 turns of provoke, which is incredibly good on a 3-turn cooldown. Then his A1 is Leech with a 20% turn meter boost for him. He has a 70 accuracy in all battles aura, which is standard but strong. But it's a nice little kit. You're getting increased accuracy and decreased resistance. The decreased accuracy really helps your team. Perfect Veil. There's not that many champions that do Perfect Veil. I love to joke that after I've got Rector Drath, I've Tatura Rhymehide years ago. I think even before, or right when I started out being a content creator in Raid. I think about 4 years ago, I got Tatura Rhymehide. Since then, in my entire time of being a Raid content creator, this is the next champion who can give Perfect Veil to the team that I've ever got. Which is somewhat bad luck, but also there you are. Yeah, it's a good kit. There's actually there's a few good increased accuracy champs in the game. There's not that many good Perfect Veil champs in the game. There's not actually a ton of good increased defense champs for Arena. There's a plenty of viable, like decent options, but there's very, very few really top tier options for increased defense. It is relatively rare. I'd say even damage dealers like Marius, Alaz, Gallius tend to be some of your best sources. There's not a ton. Like Sifi is very good, but there's not that many, so that's certainly valuable for your other damage dealers in the team. And there's not very many good decreased resistance champions either, or decreased accuracy for that matter. So yeah, he is very useful for Chimera trials. Very nice for that, right? There are trials in here where you need to be, number one, placing lots of debuffs. He can do that, which is great. You need to place debuffs where you've got increased accuracy. There you go. You need some while you're under Perfect Veil. There you go. He's bringing that as well. Some unique stuff in there. I actually think his decreased accuracy hurts this trial. I believe that if you resist the stun debuffs the Chimera is doing in Ram form, that it doesn't count towards this trial. So you need to not resist. You need to stop them with just those. Anyway, funny thing there. You need increased defense for this trial over here. You need a leech for this trial over here. Decreased resistance is needed over here. Very few champs that can do it. You can obviously give him the damage reflecting increased defense blessing, which I actually think is quite possibly one of his best ones, funny enough. Certainly for this, it's certainly a viable option. It's not going to do the whole trial by itself, but it'll help you towards what is one of the most difficult trials. And yeah, just some of the stuff that needs debuffs, he does it. You need to resist debuffs while your Chimera is under decreased accuracy and you've increased resist. Now, he doesn't give you increased resist, but he gives you decreased accuracy, which is nice. So he is good for that. He's obviously very good for Hydra because you can provoke Hydra, and he can do that, which is very useful. So he's bringing a lot of utility in PvE, and obviously, you know, just generally speaking, decreased accuracy, you can start resisting a lot of bosses. Between the increased accuracy and decreased resistance for things like faction wars or any boss fight where you're doing with him, it really lowers the accuracy requirements for your champions, which is really cool. Perfect Veil is great for Hydra as well. So it's a lovely kit in just his active abilities, but there is more to it. First of all, you've got the same passive all the assassins have. Everything is permitted, where when an enemy drops below 25% HP from or through receiving damage from any assassin, they take bonus damage. And this can trigger off multiple assassins in your team. There are no other assassins and barbarians. This is not crazy useful, but it can actually be, because he's got very, very high base defense, extremely high. This can actually do a decent chunk of damage. You can be surprised, actually, I think. Bayek hits somebody, it pushes them below that 25% threshold, and then this passive can do a big chunk of damage and can actually be kind of helpful. So it's not bad. Kind of are looking for a couple of assassins on the team to actually kill people with this, but he's got high uptime and increased defense and very high base defense. This triggers reasonably often. Then the passive that really, I think, pushes him to the next level is Siwa's Pride. This is mostly an arena passive, but it's incredibly good, where this champion and their allies cannot receive critical hits from enemies whose accuracy is equal to or lower than their own. That is insanely strong. Insanely strong. So like if I jump in here, so he's not good against Carnage. Carnage typically building high accuracy. Not good against Marius. Marius provides increased accuracy and can remove the increased accuracy buffs and really leave your team vulnerable. But he'd be very strong against, let's say, for example, an Empress the Anomaly, right? Empress often built with low accuracy. So there you go. Instead of doing, you've got your base damage plus the crit damage. So instead of doing 356% damage, it's basically minus 256% damage on Empress. He's doing far less damage. Or like my Nice would be similarly. My Nice is 243 and he's got over 300% crit damage. That's just a whole bunch of bonus damage, a ridiculous amount. More than 3/4 of my Nice's total damage is coming from him critting. We remove that. Great. Fantastic. Nice has just done far less damage. Rotus would be another great example. He has no accuracy. Say goodbye to all that damage boost. It's not happening. So it is incredibly strong. And there are, I think, just many champions in the arena where they just can't deal with it, right? Now, when you see a Bayek on defense, you could bring in an increased accuracy champion of your own. You could bring in, oh, we go, oh shit, okay, it's a Bayek, great. I need to bring in a Carnage or a Mar. I just need to bring in a high accuracy damage dealer if I'm relying on crits, because otherwise I could be really screwed. But in live arena or on attacking posts in Siege, like if you see that they've got a champion who classically is not built with accuracy, like again Rotus or Empress being perfect examples, you can throw in a Bayek. They might be just really screwed. You could easily have it happen, and I've had it happen in live arena where people need to ban Bayek because if they leave him in there, their team cannot land any critical hits. It's not as good as like a permanent enfeeble on their damage dealers, but it's pretty close. You also, of course, do need to have high accuracy on your own team. But we put all this together. Bayek is very, very strong. He is also a time-limited champion after the 8th of April. He is gone for good. There is still time, right? There is still time. It's only the end of February right now. There will still be a month left after this. They will probably run more 15x events for them. I'd be shocked if they didn't. They might run some Prism events for them and whatnot. But this basically says to me that there will not. I mean, there can't be, right? They would never run a champ training tournament where people are going to go. Sorry, not a champion chase tournament. They would not run that for this champion and then do a regular guaranteed for him. It's not going to happen. So this is going to be the only guaranteed way to get him. Not cheap. It is by far the worst type of champion guaranteed event we've got. By far the worst. But I think that's all we're going to get for Bayek. He'll be available in some more summons. You might get lucky. I got lucky. Great. Fantastic. I'm delighted. But yeah. I mean, I do think certainly for PvP, it would be like a Leonardo. It's somewhat like a Leonardo. I guess if he functions a bit like a Neve, right? In terms of just giving your team this crazy protection that they just can't kill people through. It functions a little bit like that. I think he's particularly obnoxious. I don't have them, but he'd be particularly obnoxious with champions who do have high accuracy, but are also giving you lots of healing and, you know, potentially removing your debuffs and protecting you from debuffs and stuff. Like that combination, something like him with a Galathier just seems absolutely disgusting. So yeah, I think this is, you know, Krakens are going to go for this. I think, you know, Krakens typically go for everything. It's sort of the definition of a Kraken, just get everything in the game anyway. But I think Krakens will definitely be going for this one, though likely, as I said, through Primal Shards or Void Shards or something. Probably not through Sacreds. I've got 2 Sacreds, cool. But yeah, I think he's an extremely good champion, but he's basically out of the reach of most people. So if you're lucky and you pull him through just randomly pulling him from a Void Shard, congratulations. He is incredibly good. He's going to be extremely rare. But watch out for him, certainly at high level play. I think he's got a lot of potential. I do think it's a pity that we've got as well such a good clan boss champion locked behind a limited event. That's a bummer. It's definitely a bummer. like Odin is always there, right? You can always pull an Odin. I don't know. I guess Leonardo is gone, and Leonardo is like insane basically everywhere. So yeah, fair enough. It's maybe not so bad as that, but yeah, that's where we are. I haven't really mentioned the Edward thing. I think it's whatever. I think you should really skip this. There could still easily be a guaranteed event for Edward. I would be sort of surprised if there wasn't for Edward. I think Edward's good, but I don't think he's like absolutely bonkers crazy. I think Bayek is really good. I think Bayek and Ezio are the two best champions from this entire event. Edward is really nice because he gives Perfect Veil to other assassins, which works very well with Ezio and Cassandra, who have been the two easiest ones to get. So that's nice. But yeah, I don't think he's a must-get or anything, but I could easily see him dropping as a Titan event or dropping as a Deck of Fate at some point for like some sort of last hurrah event for the Assassin's Creed thing. We still have a month to go, so I could still see that happening for sure. So I wouldn't be in a rush to chase Edward. I don't think he's really a chase-worthy champion anyway. I think he's nice, he's good. I mean, he's useful for sure. You could potentially give him the new deflection set, right? Because he can be placing ensnare debuffs on the target. So you can almost definitely trigger the new deflection set, where when you place a debuff, it will do a little bit of bonus damage. Most importantly, it knocks a point off total guard. And then because he's got a double hitter here with that 6-piece deflection and his passive in his A2, he should be able to fully strip off deflection set. Total guard, full 9-piece Mercurial. He's got a triple hit A1. Very nice there as well, and he's got block revive to finish people off. Also gives you anti-stone skin. All right, he's got lovely utility in his kit. His damage is just kind of low for what you would hope, but his utility is absolutely up there, and it's looking, I think, pretty good moving forwards. Yeah, I do think he's good, and you could run a simple enough like Arbiter into Edward into Ezio team, you know, to actually successfully blow up some poisons on a team that was otherwise be protected by 9-piece Mercurial. That does seem possible. So I do like Edward. I think he's good, but not like chase-worthy. You don't need to get him by any means. Like, I think Bayek is far more unique with his passive. Like, this is just super unique. And his combination of debuffs is quite unusual as well. Yeah, I'd be waiting. And I'd really try to skip this event, just full stop. I think you're in a it's a 1 or 2 thing. Either number 1, you are a Kraken and you are going to get Bayek. Actually, it's a 1 in 3 situation. So number 1, you are a Kraken, or you're gonna go Kraken mode because you love Bayek or you really want him for whatever reason. I don't know. You're gonna go Kraken mode. You're getting Bayek. Gonna win this tournament, and it's really irrelevant to you how big a credit card the other person has because yours is bigger. That's person number 1. Person number 2 is, I mean, if you happen to get a really good tournament group, and realistically you probably have to have been buying shards recently and you have to have a good stockpile, you could certainly consider sniping it. That's person number 2, probably a bigger group of you for sure. And then person number 3, which is going to be by far the most of you, 98, 99%, is going to be, you don't have the shards, you don't have the money to waste on some video game pixels to get this, so you should just skip it. And don't get distracted by the Edward or the 2x Sacreds. Not that good. Just ignore all this stuff and wait for whatever's coming next. Wait for March, the anniversary. We should be getting all the Argonites. We should be getting a really good fusion. You don't want to pull your Sacred Shards now randomly unless it means you will get Bayek. So you either know you're going to get Bayek, or you're extremely likely to get him and you're going all in, or you know you can't do it and just stay away. Stay away, man. Yeah, Bayek's insane. I'm trying to, in this video, basically my goal is to be, I want you to understand that Bayek is incredibly, incredibly good. He's really good. He's actually a bit better than I sort of first expect him to be. Or let me put it like this. I was like, this passive might be insane, and he has lived up to that expectation that this passive is incredible. I've been using him. I'm really impressed with him. I hope that they do some way to get his soul, because barely anyone's going to have the champion, so there won't be too many people to compete with me to get his soul from whatever event they do. I don't know. We'll see. He is really good, but also at the same time, it is ludicrously difficult to get this champion. So, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, you probably don't have most of the mythicals. You probably don't have most of the void legendaries. You might not have any mythicals at all, or only a couple of void legendaries, whatever. It's just another drop in that ocean of stuff you won't have. It's fine. It's fine, right? There's a million champs you won't have. You've got plenty of champs that you can get, and there will be accessible ones coming in the next couple of months, like fusions and stuff that are likely to be incredibly good. You should focus on the stuff that you can get and make the most out of your account. You can do incredible things with the free champions in this game. So that's my speech over. Lots to say about why it's ultimately kind of a shit event. Let's be honest. A lot to say about a shit event, but hopefully now you've got a deep, thorough understanding of what is going on here. And yeah, we'll see. I do expect more shard events for the assassins before the time-limited period is up. They still have another month to run plenty of lovely FOMO events, which are fine to take part in. You know, sure, if you got some extra shards, maybe go for it. And I think there is still time to have some sort of big event for Edward as well. But it looks like this is the end of the line for Bayek. Question for me remains, will it be the end of the line for Pontiff? Or will they run a guaranteed way to get him? It could be another bad guaranteed, like a champion training tournament, which is another bad guaranteed. Yeah. Champion training tournament, the second worst guaranteed. The worst guaranteed event is a champion chase tournament. Yeah, they're by far the worst because you're not competing against, admittedly, an often ludicrously high fixed price. You're competing against a price which is as big as your opponent's luxury bank account. Anyway, there we go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.